Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Rossi. Today we are going to create a drawing full of patterns. Let's get started. What you'll be needing today is a piece of paper, a pencil, an eraser, something to trace your drawing with, whether that is a marker or a crayon or a colored pencil, and something to draw your patterns with. I'm going to use a skinny Sharpie to draw my patterns. You can use a pen, you can use a colored pencil, or a skinny marker would work well also. I'm also going to use watercolors today to fill in my background. You can use whatever kind of art supply you want to color in your background. If you don't have watercolors, you can use another kind of paint. You can use markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever you would like to color that in. So to get started, I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to start to draw a flower on my paper. My flower is going to be coming from the corner of my paper, so you can pick whichever corner you would like to draw your flower from. I think I'm going to do mine from the bottom right corner. To start, I'm going to make part of a circle covering up that corner where I want my flower to be. This is going to be the center of my flower. We're drawing kind of like a zoomed in image of our flower today, so it's not going to be the full circle. Once you have your circle drawn on your paper, you can start making some petals. To make a petal, I start on my circle and I just do a curvy line out towards the edge of my paper. I'm going to start drawing my petals from the outer edges of my paper in towards the center to see how many I can fit. So I put one on that side. I'm going to do the same thing over here where I'm starting at my circle and just doing a curvy line out to the edge of my paper. I think I'll be able to fit maybe 2 more petals in here, maybe even more than that. Let's see, I'm going to do a big looping line. I think I could fit more than 2. Let's see, maybe 3. You might be able to fit more, you might only be able to fit less. That looks good. I think I'm going to change the shape of this one just a little bit so it curves down and in. Then I can make this one a little bit bigger. I like for my petals to be a little skinnier at the bottom than at the top. If you want yours to be pointy or a different shape, you can do that. That is fine. I like mine skinnier at the bottom, so there's a little bit of a gap and then they get to touch on the sides just a little bit. I'm going to split up the center of my circle into a few different sections by just doing those curved lines again. I think I'll do 3. 3 will be good. The next thing I'm going to do is trace my flower with my Sharpie. I'm using my regular size Sharpie, so you're going to want to use a regular marker. We want a kind of thick outline for what we just drew as the base before we start adding patterns. So I'm just going over the top of all of my pencil lines. And then I'm going to take my eraser and erase any lines that are still showing. Now that all of my pencil lines are erased and I have traced over my flower, I'm going to add patterns inside each of my sections. So inside each petal, I'm going to add a different pattern, and inside each of these 3 sections that I added in the center of my flower, I'm going to put a different pattern. When you're making your patterns today, I want you to think about line and shape and how you can combine those to make an interesting design. You can repeat lines, repeat shapes, combine the 2 together to create all different kinds of intricate and detailed designs inside your flower. When we're doing these designs, we want them to fill up as much of that space as possible. We don't want there to be a lot of white space still left. If you need any pattern inspiration, I have 2 sheets on my Canvas page that you can look at that have different little boxes full of all different kinds of patterns that you can try. If you want to draw your patterns in pencil first and then go over them with your pen or your skinny marker or your colored pencil, that's going to work really well so you won't make a mistake. I think I'm just going to go straight in with my Sharpie today and start drawing my pattern. I'm using a Sharpie pen so I can add little details and designs while still coloring in areas and making them nice and black. So I finished drawing in all of my designs inside my flower. So in each section of the centerpiece and in each petal, I put a different pattern or design focusing on repeating lines and shapes. I noticed while I was doing these that it was really helpful to use my regular Sharpie to fill in larger spaces with black, and then to use my pen to draw the outlines of everything and draw the smaller lines. So as you're filling yours in, you might want to switch between your thicker and your thinner markers to help you color in certain areas better, and just focus on repeating shapes and lines. You can use the designs that are on my canvas page or come up with some of your own. Now that I'm finished, I'm going to fill in the background. The background, I'm going to use watercolors. You can use whatever you have available to color, whether that is markers, crayons, colored pencils, or watercolor paint. Before I start to paint my background, I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to fill in these little triangle spaces in between my petals with black. Those areas are going to be too small for my paintbrush to get inside. So I like to fill those in with the Sharpie, then I don't have to worry about painting them. So I'm just going to fill in each of these little triangle spaces with my Sharpie, and then I'm going to start painting. While I'm painting today, I want to use warm or cool colors to do my background. So you can pick whether you want to do warm colors or you want to do cool colors. If you remember from class, our warm colors are colors like red, orange, and yellow. And our cool colors are colors like greens, blues, and purples. I think I'm going to use cool colors today to do my background. As I'm painting my background, I'm going to be extra careful as I go around the edge of my flowers so my watercolor doesn't get inside my petals where I left white space. And that is my background all finished. When you are making your own, you don't have to do a flower. If you want to do any other shape, break up the inside using lines and then add different patterns and designs. Inside those sections you can. I think it works great with things like hands or other simple shapes, but you do not have to do a flower. If you don't have watercolor, you can use anything you have in the background to color in your picture. And if you don't have skinny Sharpie and regular Sharpie, you can use any kind of pen or any kind of marker to do that. You can even use something like a colored pencil if you want to add color. When you're done, be sure to take a picture of your finished project and share it with me on your Google Doc. I can't wait to see the amazing things you create. Have fun, try your best, and get creative. Bye!